Now hold up. Um, I know this is supposed to be like a weekly thing. However, last week I kind of got into trouble time-wise, and I didn't really have any time to record. Things at my new job have been kicking off, so that's happening, and my girlfriend has flew in, so we need to settle in a little bit. Anyway, today I really wanted to talk about something that's on my mind for quite a while. I quit Duolingo. Plain and simple. I used to have like a really long streak on Duolingo. I had a little bit over 1,000 days in Duolingo for the amount of days that I have my streak going. And in this video, I kind of want to explain a little bit more on why I quit and what I'm doing to learn Korean now. So my experience with Duolingo isn't really a really bad one. It really got me into the habit of learning Korean, and it really helped me out a lot in the beginning when I really didn't have anything to grasp to for learning Korean. But over time, especially in the end, I started to notice something a little bit off, a little weird about it. When I was learning Korean every day, I wasn't really learning Korean, if that makes sense. It was more of a game about keeping my streak alive. And while it sometimes helped me a little bit, it was just not productive or efficient enough to keep it going. And within doing so, I also felt a lot of pressure from myself to keep the streak going, which just wasn't healthy. So here's the thing. Korean is structurally really, really different from English or Dutch. Duolingo works great for example, European languages, where a lot of the European languages, you have something in common. But with Korean, pretty much you have to build up the whole language from the ground up. Like the whole grammar, it's very different. Particles, even the way meaning is built within the language, it's just completely different. So when you're doing Duolingo, you're actually trying to solve some kind of mini puzzle just with languages and with the words, and actually also just with a different alphabet. So it really helped me in the beginning, especially to learn the new alphabet and to more easily read it. But in the end, it's more like solving a puzzle on an app than it actually teaches me anything about the language. So before I did Duolingo, or even started Duolingo, I had a couple of other things that I tried. The first thing I came across was this book. A little bit weird with reflection. But anyway, I didn't get too far into the book. I'm not really a super fan of reading books and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it got me going. It was like the first thing I even saw in Korean, and it was very, very difficult from the get-go actually to get into it, because like the whole language is completely differently built. After that, I did try some Duolingo and other apps. I tried a little bit playing with the words and trying to learn the alphabet. That was kind of the main focus. I was trying to listen to songs and translate them a little bit, or recognize some words. I had a period where I was trying to also play some K-drama with and without subtitles, but that didn't really end well. In the end, I think the better part of my learning experience comes from Duolingo, but also from actually being in Korea and interacting with other people. I went to a couple of language exchanges, and it was always fascinating because you had the actual ability to talk to Koreans and ask them about the language, what to learn, what not to learn, and maybe to teach you a couple of sample phrases. Also to try out your own Korean, maybe you learn a couple of phrases and you try to apply it to a certain situation. That was pretty much my experience with learning Korean so far, and then I just kind of stuck with Duolingo simply because it was easy to build a streak, to follow up on, to just keep going in the background, to do daily. So now to the interesting part, of course. What do I do now to learn Korean? Very simple, actually. I took one of the ideas I did a long time ago and used some new tools for it. What I do right now is I have a Korean song, and I ask ChatGPT to make me a list of words for Anki. Anki is the flashcard app, and what I ask ChatGPT is to make me a list of words to put into Anki, so I can just go daily and learn it. But outside of that, that means that I can actually listen to the song, make sure I memorize the words, and try to understand as much as possible about the song. And I can just talk Korean to ChatGPT. So it's a little bit of a combination of these two apps for now. I'm very much open to do a little bit more. I also have the luxury of my girlfriend being Korean, so I can talk to her in Korean. And I kind of dropped the idea of having to master Korean before, I have to master everything before I move on. I can just learn it slowly, and as long as it's actually learning, it's fine. So, one of the bigger differences is that currently I have a lot more freedom in how I learn Korean. I can kind of pick a song that I like and stick to it. I don't really have to even pick a song or do something every day, or I just learn any other way, try to translate it, like maybe a clip or a short movie or pretty much anything, maybe even a book, and turn it into cards, and in this way I can start learning Korean a lot more naturally. Another very big difference is, for me at least, the pressure of having to actually finish a task that day. Finish the Duolingo task, finish the little app, the learning for that day. And sometimes I used to, quite late at night, feel the pressure of still having to do that day before I lose the streak. Currently, I don't have a streak. There's nothing really to keep me, going, except for me being curious and me wanting to learn Korean. And while some people need a little bit of a push in that direction, I just tend to like this a lot more. So I haven't been doing this for a whole long time. So in terms of recommendations, I don't really know how it turns out. I just know it's a lot better mentally to learn like this than with just Duolingo. But in general, my tip for learning Korean would be to essentially diversify in your input method. And what I mean with that is that you don't just stick with one app whether it's Duolingo or whether it's some other app, and don't do anything else besides that. Try to really get into the thick of it and try a couple of apps at the same time. I really like this approach. It really fits with me. In terms of other languages, Duolingo might suit a little bit better. I can imagine learning German from English or Dutch even. Be perfectly fine. I know my girlfriend is learning Dutch with Duolingo and he's having a blast. But for me, I need a little bit more tools to actually navigate through the Korean language. So, if you have some troubles learning Korean or learning any other languages, or if you also quit Duolingo for a similar reason, do let me know. Are you learning any new languages? Do you have anything that really works well for you or really doesn't? Yeah, I'm always open for interesting new ideas. I'm currently learning, like the way I explained, with the Anki cards, with the flashcards. I don't know how it's going to work out, and perhaps I have to do a follow-up video on whether or not it works, and maybe a more detailed video on how I actually built my decks and that kind of stuff. But for now, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.